you are.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. You look gorge. You always look
Thank you.
gorgeous.
I'm at you for something else, so this is not your typical every day. Are you
How are
there?
you doing?
Okay, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
You
I'm
look
really
gorgeous
good.
per usual.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we are live here, just, trying to talk about all the things. I think, what's really interesting is this moment in people's lives when you have like one idea of what your life is going to be, and then you have a shift, whether it's from a relationship, or it's children, which was, I would say, my big shift
Yeah.
in sort of like consciousness and the way that you approach life and your ideas of what happiness really means, and your priorities change. And
Hmm.
so I think this is just like an interesting kind of time and thing to kind of to talk with you about, because I think everyone knows you as an artist. Obviously, you're a musician and you're an actress, and people know the public side of you, but you, since you've had your kids, you've shared a lot of these kind of more intimate and special sort of moments
Yeah.
that, as artists, we don't always get to show people and share with people. And I think it really kind of like gives someone some insight into your soul a bit.
Yeah, it
Um,
definitely does. I mean, we don't know each other well, but I am a very shy, introverted person, and I stay at home. I'm a homebody, and kids definitely do change everything, absolutely everything. Um, but I feel like for me in particular, especially because of COVID and just like everything that was going on over the past like 2, 3 years, um, having Frankie and Sunny has just been the light for me. I've been through a lot in my life and done a lot of crazy things and a lot of great things, but they take the cake on just having made me a better person. And as cheesy as that sounds, I don't know. It's it's my favorite transition that I've ever had in my life is becoming a mom.
yeah, I would say that like I actually don't think it sounds cheesy at all. I think it's, for me, it was like the first time it really hit me that I needed to keep somebody else alive. I was like, whoa.
That's me every
gotta
day.
like gotta like feed you. If I don't, problems will arise.
Something
I have to make sure that you're gonna sleep and you're safe. And it felt like really intense.
yeah.
Because you're only really thinking about yourself, and it's kind of subconsciously, right? You're just not even, there's nothing else really. And then, you know, animals, sure, but it's not, they can still be left at home just to a degree. But kids, yeah, it's a whole other responsibility, and it's relentless.
Absolutely.
It's like once it's on, there's no going there's no going
You don't
back.
have off.
So, I would say that I'm sort of more like you. I'm an introvert and an internal processor. But for me, the reason why I loved acting is I get to play somebody. I get to be in somebody else's shoes, and there was something so liberating about that experience. And even when I would do talk shows and stuff, I would have to say, I'm going to play this character, and that's kind of like how I approached it. But for you, just wondering, like, how did you deal with the public world when you, like, I don't know, when you are shy?
Yes. Well, it's difficult. I definitely, it's a battle that I'm still dealing with daily. And I mean, to go back to what you were saying with as far as just like, having children and going from being alone. I was just having a conversation with my makeup artist. I was like, now I have a tribe. We're here at a photo shoot, and I have my two girls with me, and it's really just, it's insane. But I have to say, being private has always been a really important thing for me. But now, like, that I'm happy, I want to share it, and I want to be able to connect with other women and, relate with women that are going through the same thing every day. We wake up with our kids, we're going through the same thing. We're feeding them, changing diapers, running around the house, trying to just get out of the house is.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
But it's just by yourself, like in your life, it's one thing when you have two other or three other, however many people to take care of. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I feel like now just growing and I would say becoming more of a woman now, I want to share it. I want to share how happy I am, and I want to share that it's possible to be, you know, I don't know, in a place of your life where you don't know what's going on, and then your life shifts completely, and you just adapt. We're women. We make it work. We always make it work. I don't know if any of this is making sense, but
No,
um,
it is. I think it's interesting to think, just for people to know that you are shy and that you do struggle with, putting yourself out there. And I wouldn't, it's interesting because I used to think for me, I always admired people like my husband, who's like, this fool can talk to anybody. When I tell you anybody, like everyone is his best friend. I'm like, what is actually happening? You cannot walk by a person. He finds people across the street to do the nod thing. I'm
yeah.
like, why is the, and how did they even see your ass? There's
Oh,
like 4 lanes of streets for no reason.
you're like, how
And
did I
he's like,
guess it?
and so I always like kind of felt like I needed to be more like him. But then I was like, you know what? It takes all kinds of people, and you need people like me, who is more of an internal processor, and you need people like him, who's more of like
They're out.
wanting to, put himself out there, and it's very comfortable for him to connect with people and share with people all the time. I find it draining emotionally.
I feel
And
it afterwards. It's so crazy that I never do lives, and to have this conversation with you, it just means so much to me. I want to tell you that now, but I can
oh,
have more conversations after this because I relate to you. You have no idea. Like, it's so similar. And even now, for me, like on the daily, Alex is moving and grooving, and he's like, "Yeah, I got this phone call, doing this and that." And of course, I'm working and I'm busy, but the way he puts himself out there, I'm like, I need a little bit of that. Like, it teach me some of that. But sometimes you're just like, this is who I am, and I accept myself for who I am.
yeah, I think it's better to kind of lean into who you are and also know what kind of like brings you joy. And then when you do feel compelled to share, like you said, you're like, I'm in a place now where I want to share the love that I'm experiencing,
Yeah,
then it feels genuine, and it doesn't feel like you're forcing it and like you're doing something that doesn't feel right to you, inside. And I think that's important.
exactly. It's super important. When it doesn't feel good, I have a whole thing now that it took me time to practice and learn, but to check in with myself on a regular basis. Like, how does this
Mm.
um, where when things are moving so quickly in your life, and I know that being busy with work and everything, ever take a second to just be like, how do I feel? Is this okay? Like, what is it doing to my body? Does my stomach hurt? Does my ear hurt? Like, I don't know. I'm really
Right.
into self-assessment and like making sure that I'm comfortable, and I know that if I'm doing that, that's going to help my children in the future too. But yeah, I've dealt with being so shy my whole life, and it is a struggle, but it's one to work through when you want to be able to share with people, and you want to be able to, open up and be a good change in the world.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I would say that if there's a way for you to think about it being a power and not a struggle. That's just what's coming to me, because then I think you'll always be resisting the thing that is you versus you feeling like it's your power. And then when you do go out into the world, it's like, put on a character, be the Cassie person that
Yeah.
they, but it can be removed from that's what I do, right? I'm like, I'm going to be the thing that I call it the Disney princess.
I love.
When you're at Disneyland and you see the Disney princesses and, it's like that at Disneyland. It's a character versus who you really are genuinely. I don't know. I just feel like you shouldn't be so hard on yourself.
Oh,
And you shouldn't change.
I mean, I
But
talked to my therapist about it, and she's just like, what if you were just exactly who you wanted to be, like, and you didn't think about all of these extra things that thought you had to be. You're so good at doing did you say Disney princess? Or you're so,
yeah.
so good at just like making it seem like everything's okay all the time. And that, I'm sure for you, is depleting. And I'm like, it can be. It definitely can be. Trying to show good face all the time. But yeah, I think
That's why you stay in. You're like, that's why I stay at home most of the time. So I don't have to put that on. No, but I do think it's, I don't know, I think it's interesting. I think also like people who are more sensitive and are internal processors, learning how to flow energy through you and not hang on to other people's stuff. We can get quite like hit with other people's judgments of us and things like that. So yeah, it's interesting. Even, no matter at what stage in my life, I guess I'm always kind of trying to be better and figure out what it is that would be, I would want my girls to really aspire to be, and not necessarily like me, but for them to see me move through things that might feel like blocks. And because I feel like if they see me do that, then maybe they feel like they could do that,
Somebody told me recently, I was really, really emotional. I was away at this, I'll tell you about it at a later date. I was away, and they were just like, how has it felt having children, and the adjustment? And I'm like, there's no real like switch where you're like, okay, I have kids. It just, everything happens. It's fluid. It is what it is.
Wait, were your kids with you?
They weren't with me. No, they weren't with me. This was
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. You're going to cry every time that anybody asks you about your kids. It was so embarrassing. I cried on Anderson Cooper.
No.
Like, what a loser. I was on his new TV show. It was like he was doing it with his mom. My mom was there. And like they played a video, somehow Cash, who like isn't trying to do that kind of stuff, like filmed a video with Honor, and Haven was a baby, and I was away from them. And there's this hormonal thing, biological thing, I don't know what it is, but when they're not sharing the same space as you feel like breaking down and crying at any moment. It's so rude.
Yeah,
and it still happens, by the way.
I cried for, it was 3 days, good 3 days of crying, and then somebody reminded me, they're like, they're safe, they're okay, and you are too. And I think that there's a thing about safety. I feel safe with my family. I feel safe with my husband. I feel safe with my kids. Like, and to be able to go back to that at the end of every crazy day is a blessing in and of itself. Like, I don't know. There's so much more I want to say to you and talk to you about.
So here's the thing that you can try and implement a little bit more if you want, that might help with that, take a kid with you. Just do it. It doesn't matter. Just take one with you. You don't have to take both. It's a lot with both. My kids love to fight, so I'm just like, I'm not taking both your asses anymore. I can't. But I can take one and I bring them with me on work trips.
I love,
And you know what? It's okay. And it's better that they have a relationship with me than not. And
yeah,
it's good that they see their mom is working.
yeah.
And even just the time on the plane and in the cars and when you're in the hotel room or what have you together, I don't know, you get that bonding time and you get that one-on-one time. So I'd say take one with you if you can't take the whole fam, and it's okay, and keep it moving.
Thank
And
you.
that's good.
I appreciate that. That simplifies things when you just like overthink things to death. Just like I can have my baby with me. I love
100%.
with the girls and just like it being us. It's so much fun. And I actually wanted to ask you too, just like, and this is, totally random, but not. How has it been? I know you have your three. I want to have a boy. We do want to have a boy. But with the two girls just growing up together, just how was that? Because I have Frankie's 2 and Sunny is 1 now.
Mm.
Yeah.
I keep reminding yesterday when they were fighting about who cleaned up the table versus didn't clean up the table and who's going to do the dishes. And I was like, you guys need, and then they started being sassy with each other. And then I made them hug, which is a great punishment.
That's really,
And I reminded them that they are best friends, no
yeah.
matter what they say. And then I was like, and then they were still trying to be like annoying. And I was like, great, we're doing a meditation together. So then they brought floor pads into my room, and we had a family sleepover in my room last night. And they slept next to each other. So they have like a best friend.
Yeah.
And sometimes they gang up on you, which is also not okay. When they figure that one out.
When they figure
When they figure out that they can both be on one side against you and say like, Mom, oh my gosh, you're impossible. And I'm like, whatever, you're lucky. One day you'll thank me. But no, I mean, I think what's cool is that they get to be best friends for life. Like that's their ride or die right there.
That's what I'm excited for. Because I have an older brother and we're very close, but I didn't have a sister. And their bond already.
Sisters are so fun.
Such a different thing, but it's so fun to just see them together. And the pushing happens, but it happens. It's part of it.
They need to figure it out. But I have to say, punishing them by making them hug, and I was like, and say 3 things nice to each other while looking into each other's eyes. And then Haven walked away, and she was like, I meant none of that. And I was like, cool, kid. Now you guys are going to be doing a meditation. So I used to give them nose and toes in the corner for like 30 seconds when they were little.
Yeah.
But they stopped caring about that one.
Yeah, it goes super quick.
It does. So how are you sort of thinking about, it's weird because yours are babies still. It's so hard. You're still in the
Still trying to
in that phase. They're
on.
so little. And
Yeah.
how are you thinking about like what you want to do and like your career? Like you have a show coming up, right?
Yes, I do. I have a show. I haven't done a big show since Barclays. I think we did a Bad Boys tour. That was in like 2017. So this is my first big show since then. And it's called Lovers and Friends. I think Snoop Dogg presents, but I don't want to be wrong about that. But it's like a 2000s throwback festival, which would be really cool.
Oh my God, that's so fun.
I would love it if you came.
My friend Risa, I think, isn't Lovers and Friends a Revolve brand? Friend Risa, that's her company.
It could be. I'm not sure, but I think you should come, and I'm gonna make sure.
Yeah, 100%. Where is it?
Vegas.
Where do I buy my ticket?
Buy your tickets with me. No, just kidding. It's just been. You're catching me at such a time that I'm trying to figure stuff out. Like I literally am in the middle of like, okay, where do we go from here? We've had the babies. We're no longer pregnant.
Right.
Like I'm coming back down to earth. I'm in my own skin. I'm not sharing my body with anyone else.
Right. That's so hard, that transition.
Well, yeah, all of it. But it's all going really well in terms of like getting back into music and creating again. Working on a skincare line, which I'm really excited about, but I'm taking
Nice.
it.
Nice.
Want to talk to you about more too, but I'm taking it one day at a time because I have such little babies. I'm like, I'm not going to put all the pressure in the world on myself because they need me right now. They need me more than me. So we make time for work, but we're like right now we're together with this shoot. We're always together.
Yeah, and I think it's good. It's like quality of life stuff. And if you are fortunate enough to be in a position where you can integrate into your work life, I would just do that as much as possible until they start school, really, because once they start school full time, then you'll have, giant chunks of time to really focus. Um, so yeah, I think that's great. And just kind of like following what feels good, what feels right.
Yeah,
Um,
we're at right now.
I would say my kids, in a way, I felt this like push or this strength from them that I didn't necessarily have
Mm-hmm.
without them. I was really in my head before I had them, and I was wildly embarrassed and shy and all of those things. And I feel like once I had them, they gave me this confidence to really sort of stand up for things that are just right. And I think that's why I even had the not just the idea, but then the perseverance to create a business and to stand up in so many rooms where I had never been and be, the only woman, the only Latina, many, 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 many times, where it was like one of one in a lot of these spaces and kind of like holding my own. And I really think, I know it was actually inspired by them. Honest was inspired by honor.
I
It's
know.
exactly that. I'm pretty on the nose with that one. But it's like, how can we leave the world a better place, and being able to get out of your head and put others first. I don't know, and think of something bigger than you. So I'm wondering, do you feel that at all with your babies? Do you feel like they've given you like a confidence?
They've given me a confidence. They've helped me shed this layer of caring. I used to care so much. Everything was just like, it's just over the top OCD caring. Everything had to be perfect. And they,
Oh, yeah, the control. I'm
yeah,
still learning this lesson of release and control.
I'm like, I really learned to let go. That I've learned that my house is gonna look like Toys R Us for a while.
Oh my gosh.
It's
I'm actually going to announce a show soon that helps families and parents
really
figure out how to maintain their sense of self with kids in their home. I'm
visual,
doing it.
very visual person. So when things are crazy and a mess in the house, like I'm different. Like I can't.
Right.
Personal thing. I know it's probably like that for a lot of people, but that's amazing.
Yeah, clutter is an actual problem.
It's an actual problem. Yeah.
And
It drives me.
and when things are organized and in a space, it actually gives you a moment to sort of breathe and be calm and serene and easy. And it's really tough to be that way with a lot of foolishness
It's gotta be,
everywhere.
that's gotta be like the best meditation, honestly, is organization and just having everything like,
In its place. It's so satisfying, the before and after. I hope you take before and afters just for yourself.
yeah.
So you can be like, boom, I did that.
I work
I friggin' organized that closet.
now is in its own box. But yeah,
Yeah, I label, I do all of it.
I love
But there is something about us wanting to over control environments, not to get weird, but since you go to therapy, You kind of, you know, I've tried to unpack the control thing, but I think because we are in an industry where so much feels so out of our control, and it doesn't matter how much you've accomplished, how good you've ever been, you know, you're only as good as your last job. And this business it really celebrates the very thing that we can't control, which is youth. And it still is very Caucasian. And so because we don't fit the mold, we feel like we're constantly scrambling to become or be something that we're just not. And I think we then overcompensate and try to over control other things in our lives. I don't know, that was kind of like my way to understand my tendency to.
No, it totally makes sense. I also, like, I have a tendency to, wait, take me back. What were we just talking about? Yes? Sorry.
Organize.
Can I have a moment? Thank you. Yeah, I don't even know what I was going to say. Somebody just walked in and it threw me all the way off. But
it's okay.
But yeah, I feel like unpacking like your actual experiences when you see them. So like I've been trying to go through a lot of stuff in my house, get rid of things, and everything holds so much history. Like everything I pick up, I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. But that there's an OCD in that I'm like, I actually do enjoy that. I'm fully aware of all of these things in my past and I want to keep them as part of my present, or let things go. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I also love, Cash says that I'm an organized hoarder is his official wording for me. I don't think I'm an organized hoarder. I think I just like to have things in places. And I too like to have things from my past, but I put it in storage.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like when I'm surrounded with it, it reminds me of something that,
oh, you got to keep
I don't know, I don't want to live in the past. I want to live in the now. And I don't necessarily want to live in the future either. I want to live in the right now, and then the possibility of what I guess sort of that release is to be the best version of myself. If what is happening right now feels like it's holding you back or holding you down. So
I feel like the best versions of ourselves are the most present versions of ourselves. And like, that's why I think, you know, with having kids, that's like one of the biggest things it's taught me is just like really being in the moment, really staying like with them.
They sure force you to. Have you gotten more silly?
Get out of it if you wanted to. Yeah. But I like it. I like that I have to sit down and not think about my emails because we need to nails or do makeup or, you know what I mean? It's just like
play dress up.
Play dress. Yeah. You and our dresses. We
can't some puzzles. Build some blocks. Take things out and put things in said container.
Yes. I put back inside. Yeah. It's been a really, really wild ride so far, but I do love being a mom. It's my new favorite thing.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so beautiful. I love it. Well, thank you so much for opening up and sharing.
Of course, I wish
so many things.
Yeah. There's so many layers. If you ever want to talk again, I would love to.
Yeah, we should for sure have a chat, and I have to get some. Why don't you tell us again where to get tickets for your concert and when it's going to be?
It's so bad. Loversandfriends.com or .org, but it's a festival in Vegas, May 14th and 15th. Lovers.
Nice.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I think that's so awesome. You're going to be on stage again. I can't wait. Can't wait to see you doing the damn thing.
Thank you.
I feel like we get so much more swaggy after we have kids too.
Dude, I'm excited
Um,
for that part. I'm excited for like what I'm gonna wear and like getting the whole thing together. So it's coming.
if you want to do some rehearsals, some dance rehearsals,
Do you want
I'll come and
I
be backup dancer, whatever you need.
like
I need the fitness anyway, so.
you're really good at TikTok videos, so I like we need to do one at some point.
Yeah, that would be so fun. Except I'm not actually a real dancer. I'm a pretend dancer. And so it takes me a long time to learn them. But yeah, they are fun.
And it'll just take us like 24 hours. We'll be
No big deal. All right. Well, thank you so much. Have an awesome day.
Thank you.
And I'll slide into your DMs again or something, and we can like have another chat.
Let's have like a dinner, powwow, something. I would love it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
All right. Well, you have a great day.
All right. Thank you. You too. Bye.